It's 10 a.m. by the studio clock. You're watching Breakfast News on Rajya Sabha TV with BT Rajya. Let's start with the top stories. United States okays sale of F-16 fighter jets to Pakistan. India expresses disappointment. Ministry of External Affairs summons US ambassador to express displeasure. India asks Pakistan to fully expose conspiracy behind the Mumbai terror attacks after David Coleman Headley's deposition. Says it's for Islamabad now to bring those responsible to justice. JNU campus in Delhi on the boil after arrest of Students' Union president for alleged anti-national activities. The left front calls move emergency-like situation. Rahul Gandhi targets the centre. State BJP vice president among two BJP leaders killed in Bihar within 12 hours. BJP threatens statewide agitation. Chief Minister Nitish Kumar holds meet over law and order situation. And Syrian President Bashar al-Assad vows to retake the whole of Syria a day after world leaders agree on cessation of hostilities. The United Nations hopes to deliver aid to Syrians in the next 24 hours. Well, our top focus remains on the same story which we were tracking earlier on. The Obama administration has notified the US Congress of its decision to sell 8 F-16 fighter jets to Pakistan worth nearly $700 million. This comes despite mounting opposition from influential lawmakers from both the Republican and Democratic parties. The Obama administration has said that the proposed sale contributes to the US foreign policy objectives and national security goals by helping to improve the security of a strategic partner in South Asia, that's Pakistan. Asserting that this will not alter the basic military balance in the region, the Pentagon said the proposed sale improves Pakistan's capability to meet current and future security threats. India has expressed disappointment at the sale. MEA spokesperson Vikas Swarup tweeted saying, and I quote, "We disagree with the rationale that such arms transfer help to combat terrorism. The record for the last several years speaks for itself. The US ambassador will be summoned by the MEA in this regard," unquote. So India, as we told you, has expressed displeasure and has summoned the US ambassador to India, Richard Burma. He will, of course, be going to the MEA today. And India will be expressing displeasure over the sale of F-16 fighter jets, which the United States says is to help Pakistan to combat terrorism. India is disappointed with the move and is going to now summon the US ambassador to express its discontent. And India has also asked Pakistan to fully expose the conspiracy behind the Mumbai terror attacks after David Coleman Headley's deposition before a Mumbai court. New Delhi has also said it's now for Islamabad to bring all those concerned to justice. Headley's deposition continues today as well. On day 4 on Friday, he claimed that the Mumbai airport, the Siddhi Vinayak temple and even the Bhabha Atomic Research Centre were among the targets initially on the target list for the 26/11 siege. Here's more on the sensational revelations by David Headley.
It's a process that has gone on since the beginning of the week, each day further revealing the depth of the ISI-LET nexus in the planning of the 26/11 attacks. Headley continued his deposition at the Mumbai Sessions Court via video conference from the US. Headley claimed he had discouraged the LET from attacking the Naval Air Station and the Siddhi Vinayak Temple at Mumbai, as both were heavily guarded. Also, the Lashkar-e-Taiba was unhappy that the Mumbai airport was not one of the targets. He revealed that he had taken videos of the Bhabha Atomic Research Centre and handed the footage to Major Iqbal of the Pakistan Intelligence Agency ISI. Major Iqbal had allegedly suggested that Headley recruit for the ISI from BARC. He also said the National Defence College in Delhi was on the radar of the LET and Al-Qaeda. Headley told the court he had bought red and yellow sacred threads from the Siddhi Vinayak temple as a cover for the attackers so people would think they were Hindus. The 26/11 mastermind also said he had conducted extensive recce's of the Shiv Sena Bhavan in Mumbai during his 7 visits to the city. He passed on his findings to Lashkar commander Zakiur Rahman Lakhvi, Sajid Mir and other terrorists. The depositions are to continue. In the past few weeks, Headley has revealed details about the ISI's collaboration with terror group Lashkar-e-Toiba for the 26/11 attack. He'd even said Ishrat Jahan, the woman killed in an encounter in Ahmedabad, was an LET operative. Experts have said the deposition cannot be taken entirely at face value. It can, however, suggest to the world the direction of investigations ahead. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha Television.
And former Pakistan President Pervez Musharraf has seemingly reinforced the ISI terror nexus. Musharraf outrightly said that Pakistan's inter-services intelligence trains terrorists of the Jaish-e-Mohammed and the Lashkar-e-Toiba. Talking to a private TV network in India, Musharraf described Masood Azhar of the Jaish-e-Mohammed as a terrorist, while pointing out that Hafiz Saeed of the Lashkar-e-Toiba was nothing short of a national hero in Pakistan. Despite this, Musharraf said India was responsible for stalling the peace process. Musharraf said terror attacks in India will not stop until New Delhi addresses what he called the core issue of Jammu and Kashmir. On Headley's deposition, Musharraf said he refuses to believe it, calling for Headley to be interrogated by Pakistani intelligence. Reports say the former Pakistani president was taken to a Karachi hospital as he fainted soon after the interview and his condition turned critical. Coming back to Delhi now, an atmosphere of tension prevails inside the JNU campus. With the centre hardening its stand against anti-national activities, the JNU Students' Union president was arrested yesterday and sent to 3-day police custody, further triggering protests inside the campus. Now, agitated students and teachers have accused the police of a witch hunt, demanding them to retreat. The left front has equated the situation with that of the 1975 internal emergency. More on this story in this report. The Jawaharlal Nehru University, one of India's premier varsities, is on the boil. Soon after the police cracked down on students who shouted anti-India slogans and the arrest of JNU Students' Union President Kanhaiya Kumar, the campus has virtually turned into a war zone of sorts. On one side are members of the ABVP, the students' wing of the BJP, who are demanding stringent action against those who held a protest meeting in memory of Parliament attack convict Afzal Guru. Hundreds of ABVP supporters inside the campus congregated to protest against those who shouted anti-India slogans. On the other side are those questioning the arrest of Students' Union leader Kanhaiya Kumar. A group of agitated students and teachers held a protest march inside the campus late Friday, demanding the police personnel to leave the campus immediately. They also accused the police of launching a witch hunt. Opposition parties too came down heavily on the government, accusing it of bullying the prestigious institution. The left parties termed the police crackdown to an emergency-like situation.
In the name of fighting certain anti-India elements, they should not target the left as a whole. JNU campus was never so tense and frightened. Now the Delhi police, in connivance with ABVP and BJP, trying to create tension and scare in the campus.
The last time the police raided the JNU hostels and indiscriminately arrested the students was during the internal emergency period. Now there was some isolated incident which a majority of the student groups and the majority of the JNU students do not associate with. That is being used as a pretext to do such a combing activity and arresting people belonging to the left and democratic students movement.
Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi also charged the centre with bullying JNU and said the action by the centre was completely condemnable. He, however, asserted that anti-India sentiment is unquestionably unacceptable. Following a hardening of stand by the centre against anti-national statements, the JNU too debarred as many as 8 students from academic activities pending a disciplinary inquiry. These students are reported to have been part of Tuesday's event held in remembrance of Parliament attack convict Afzal Guru. Arrested Students' Union leader Kanhaiya Kumar has been sent to a 3-day police custody. Charges of sedition have been slapped against him. A case of sedition has also been registered against several unknown students at the Vasant Kunj police station. Action against former DU lecturer SAR Gilani has also been initiated. News reports say he also may be arrested soon. The Press Club of India has also expelled its member Ali Javed, who had booked its conference hall for a function where slogans hailing Afzal Guru were shouted. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV. And in news from Bihar now, where two BJP leaders have been killed in the last 12 hours in Ara and Chhapra. BJP's Bihar Vice President Vishweshwar Ojha was shot dead by unidentified assailants in Bhojpur district. The latest killing comes within 12 hours after BJP leader Kedarnath Singh was shot dead in Chhapra. Ojha, who had unsuccessfully contested the assembly election of 2015 from Shahpur constituency, was fired by gunmen while returning from a wedding at Parsora village. Ojha's driver and another person accompanying him were seriously injured in the firing. Ojha was taken to Shahpur Referral Hospital where he died during treatment. An LJP leader was also shot dead in Patna on the 5th of February. Now, the BJP has given a 72-hour deadline to the state government to arrest Ojha's killers. They are threatening to go on a statewide protest against the sliding law and order situation in the state. In the wake of all this, Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar concluded a 3-day high-level meeting on law and order situation in Patna. He directed officials to provide security to construction companies. The Chief Minister also instructed the officials to draw a rule for separation of crime investigation and law and order duty of policemen. The LJP also hit out at the Secular Alliance, targeting RJD Supremo Lalu Yadav.
और हम सरकार को चेताना चाहते हैं कि जिस तरह की हरकत बिहार के अंदर हो रही है, खुलेआम सरकार का कोई नियंत्रण प्रशासन पे नहीं है।
कुमार जी, साफ आप बता दें कि जिसने आपको वोट नहीं दिया है, क्या बिहार में वो नहीं रहेगा?
ये अपने में पुनः दर्शाता है कि किस तरीके से हमारे प्रदेश में कानून व्यवस्था पूरी तरीके से अब खत्म हो गई है।
So from the law and order situation in Bihar to the political uncertainty in Jammu and Kashmir, BJP General Secretary Ram Madhav will meet PDP Chief Mehbooba Mufti today in Srinagar to discuss government formation prospects. Jammu and Kashmir has been under governor's rule since the death of former Chief Minister Mufti Muhammad Saeed on the 7th of January. Mehbooba Mufti has set fresh conditions to continue the coalition with BJP, and it's to address these that Madhav is meeting her today. Mehbooba has asked the centre to realise assurance on the common minimum programme of the government for the state. She also wants more political freedom to deal with the separatists and wants the centre to desist from curtailing the activities of Hurriyat members. On Friday, BJP leaders met Governor N.N. Vora and discussed the political situation in the state. To the southern state of Tamil Nadu now, there is a possibility of a Congress-DMK alliance in the state. The speculation have been fanned as senior Congress leader Ghulam Nabi Azad will be meeting DMK chief M. Karunanidhi today in Chennai. The Congress is terming it a courtesy call, but the meeting is expected to produce some forward movement on an announcement of a possible assembly poll tie-up to oust the AIA-DMK. Now, Azad's visit to Karunanidhi comes in the wake of the DMK leader inviting Congress and DMDK as part of his efforts to cobble up a strong alliance against the Jayalalitha-led AIA-DMK. DMK, which was a key constituent of the Congress-led UPA government since 2004, remember broke out of the alliance in 2013 on the Sri Lankan fishermen issue. However, the Congress had later supported Karunanidhi's daughter Kanimudi in the Rajya Sabha polls that year. Azad will be accompanied by his colleague and Congress in charge of Tamil Nadu, Mukul Vasnik.
We are having a courtesy call with I'm going to have a courtesy call and myself and General Secretary in charge and PCC President tomorrow. Let us see what will happen afterward. Tomorrow we are going to start with the courtesy call, and this has always been a tradition that as and when I am in Chennai, I will always meet a DMK leader.
Time for a very short break here on Breakfast News. Some more national stories and all the international updates to follow on the other side. Do stay with us.
Subhash Chandra Bose gave a revolutionary edge to India's freedom struggle. Netaji, as he was popularly known, was elected Congress president twice, but left the organization in 1939 following differences with Mahatma Gandhi. He founded the Forward Bloc and the Kisan Sabha before leaving for Singapore to organize the Indian National Army. After failing to secure Soviet Union support for India's freedom struggle, he joined hands with Germany and Japan to fight the British. His slogans Dilli Chalo and Jai Hind energized millions of youngsters in India. Bose went missing in 1945 after a plane crash in Taiwan.
Thanks for staying with us on Breakfast News. Now, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be inaugurating the Make in India Week in Mumbai today. Over 2,500 international and 8,000 domestic companies will be participating in the week-long multi-sectoral industrial event, which will be attended by foreign government delegations from 68 countries and business teams from 72 countries. The participants at the event also include foreign heads of government and states, Prime Ministers of Sweden, Finland and Deputy Premier of Poland, besides other cabinet ministers. The government has pulled out all the stops for the event, which is scheduled to be held from the 13th to the 18th of February, as it has set aside 80 crore rupees for the Jamboree. The Prime Minister is expected to interact with the industry captains like Ratan Tata, Cyrus Mistry and Mukesh Ambani. As many as 17 states, mostly BJP-ruled ones, will be participating in the expo, and there will be 52 seminars which will be attended by top executives of leading firms, both domestic and global. Well, India's annual consumer price inflation is up to a 17-month high to 5.69% in January, driven up by higher food costs. Retail food prices last month were up 6.85% year-on-year compared with the 6.40% recorded in December. Prices of pulses in particular showed a sharp spike. In suburban areas, prices surged nearly 50% from last year. The Indian stock markets recovered marginally today after they plunged over 1,600 points over the last 4 days. The rupee, that had dipped to a 29-month low this week against the dollar, recovered 10 paise. Market experts say the sharp fall in Indian stock markets is a reflection of the poor global sentiment that has caused markets worldwide to dip sharply.
The reasons, if we get into this, that this week's fall, what we witness in our markets, are entirely, I would blame it on internal factors rather than external. External, yes, China slowdown, European problem, American interest rate hike, uncertainty, all these are okay. But this week, what we witnessed in the market was solely because of internal reasons. Banking sectors, PSU banks came out with the results. They were disasters.
The Supreme Court of India has asked all states to inform the centre about the money spent by them in the current financial year so far in implementing the National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme, that is the MNREGA. The bench also asked the states to apprise the centre about their further financial needs to continue with the social welfare scheme to ensure that the benefits reach the drought-affected people. It has also asked them to elaborate the current status of the Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act. The court's direction came on a PIL, which alleged that the scheme has not been implemented in majority of the states, especially in the drought-affected areas. It said parts of the states like Uttar Pradesh, Karnataka, Madhya Pradesh, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Maharashtra, Gujarat, Odisha, Jharkhand, Bihar, Haryana as well as Chhattisgarh have been hit by drought, and the concerned authorities were not providing adequate relief in these states. The Supreme Court has also asked the centre to consider appointing a nodal officer in its External Affairs Ministry to coordinate and oversee efforts in ensuring release of Indians abducted by the deadly terror outfit the Islamic State in Iraq. The Apex Court asked the MEA to entrust the task to an official and disposed of a PIL on the issue. The PIL was filed by a Delhi-based lawyer, Gaurav Bansal, who said that as per an RTI reply from the Indian Embassy in Baghdad, about 40 Indians are still missing in war-ravaged Iraq since 2014. The Supreme Court bench, however, did not issue notice on the PIL and disposed it off with the observation that the centre may consider appointing a nodal officer. Besides various reliefs, the plea had sought a direction to the centre to forthwith intervene and expedite the process of release of the Indians held hostages back in Iraq. And the big international news as of now. Syrian President Bashar al-Assad has vowed to retake the whole of Syria Ironically, his declaration comes just a day after world leaders sought cessation of hostilities in the war-torn country. Meanwhile, the United Nations hopes to begin aid delivery to besieged Syrian towns within the next 24 hours.
A day after cessation of hostilities was agreed by world leaders on papers, Syrian President Bashar al-Assad turned the tables. In a wide-ranging interview, he has vowed to retake the whole of Syria, even though he believes defeating rebels could take time due to the involvement of regional powers. Assad defended the government crackdown in Aleppo, as he said it was to sever the rebel supply route from Turkey. Assad also rubbished UN accusations of war crimes, as he said it was politicized. He left no stone unturned while speaking about the upsurging Syrian refugee crisis. Assad blamed European support for terrorists as the root cause of the crisis. Speaking in lines with Russia, Assad extended support for peace talks, but for him, negotiations do not mean stop fighting terrorism. Earlier on Friday, Russia said they would continue to fight IS and other terrorist groups despite calls for ceasefire. US hit back, saying Assad was deluded if he thought there was a military solution to the conflict.
We've seen this wax and wane over now 5 years. But all we're looking at, if the Syrian regime continues the fighting, is more bloodshed, more hardship, and frankly, a greater hardening of positions on either side.
On Friday, at the Munich Security Conference, Iranian Foreign Minister Javad Zarif expressed willingness to put aside rivalries with Saudi Arabia.
We believe we face common threats. We believe ISIL and Nusra, extremists in general, are as much a threat to our brothers in Saudi Arabia as they are to the rest of the region.
We cannot defeat Daesh in Syria unless we bring about change in Bashar al-Assad. He is the man who helped create it by releasing radicals from his jails, by allowing Daesh to operate without attacking them, by even trading with them.
UN meanwhile hopes to mobilize humanitarian aid to besieged Syrian towns. On the ground, there is mixed reaction. Pro-regime Syrians supported Russia and Iran for backing Assad to break through the siege by rebel forces in Syrian town of Nubal. On the other hand, a video uploaded in the social media purports to show people fleeing as series of bombs hit suburbs of Syrian cities, Damascus and Homs. According to the West, there is no hope for progress in Syria without a halt to Russian airstrikes, which have decisively turned the balance of power in favor of Assad. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
At least 5 United Nations peacekeepers were killed in an attack on their base in Kidal in northeastern Mali yesterday. 30 others were injured in the attack, which involved rockets and a truck bomb. No one so far has claimed responsibility for the attack, but Islamic militants are suspected behind the terror. United Nations Chief Ban Ki-moon said attacks on peacekeepers constitute a war crime and will not deter them from supporting the Malian government. The UN is trying to restore peace in the North Mali. The UN base is part of an attempt to end violence in Mali following a takeover of the north by rebels back in 2012. And let's now take a look at all the other international stories in our segment, World Wrap. Pope Francis and Russian Orthodox Patriarch Kirill embraced in Cuba, ending a 1,000-year split. At historic talks in Cuban capital Havana, both called to restore unity between the two churches. They also urged the world to protect Christians from persecution in the Middle East. It is the first meeting between a pope and a Russian church head since the western and eastern branches of Christianity split in the 11th century. The bill to impose fresh sanctions on North Korea has been sent to US President Barack Obama to sign into a law. Earlier on Friday, the US House of Representatives overwhelmingly passed a legislation to broaden sanctions to punish the North for its nuclear program, human rights record, as well as cyber crimes. Meanwhile, a fresh Pentagon report said North Korea is committed to develop a long-range nuclear-armed missile that is capable of posing a direct threat to the United States. Thousands of Iraqi refugees have decided to cancel their asylum applications and return home voluntarily, disappointed with poor living conditions in Finland. Along with Germany and Sweden, Finland also saw a surge in asylum seekers in the last 1 year. Kenyan Vice President William Ruto has won the ICC witness ruling. The decision means previously recorded witness statements cannot be used by prosecutors at the International Criminal Court in this case. Ruto is being tried over unrest that followed the 2007 elections. He had denied charges of crimes against humanity. Nearly 1,200 people were killed in the violence. And on to sports news now. Indian shooters continued their splendid form at the 12th South Asian Games as they bagged 4 gold, 1 silver and 2 bronze medals on the 8th day of the competition. The gold came in both individual and team events of men's 25-meter standard pistol and men's 10-meter air rifle events. On the last day of the athletics, India won 2 gold and 1 bronze in marathon. With the gold in the women's marathon, long-distance runner Kavita Raut qualified for the Rio Olympics. However, Indian men's hockey team lost to arch rivals Pakistan 0-1 in a lackluster summit clash. Awasur Rahman scored the lone goal of the match in added time of the first half as Pakistan clinched the gold medal and a notched up a hat-trick of titles in the South Asian Games. India continues to lead the medal tally with 146 gold, 80 silver and 23 bronze. Sri Lanka stands at the second place with 25 gold. Pakistan on third with 8 gold medals, followed by Bangladesh at number 4 with 4 gold medals. And there was good news from cricket as well. India thrashed Sri Lanka by 69 runs in the second 2020 international to level the 3-match series in Ranchi. Batting first, India got off to a magnificent start as Shikhar Dhawan smashed his maiden 50 in T20 internationals of just 22 balls. Rohit Sharma, Hardik Pandya and Suresh Raina also made notable contributions as the hosts set up a massive target of 197 runs. The Sri Lankan chase got off to a poor start as they lost their first 3 wickets for only 16 runs. The visitors never looked in the chase as they kept losing wickets and finished the innings on 127 for the loss of 9 wickets. Spinner R. Ashwin took 3 wickets while Ashish Nehra, Ravindra Jadeja and Jasprit Bumrah finished with 2 wickets each. Now with series levelled at 1-1, the final of the 3-match series will be played in Visakhapatnam on Sunday. For more sports news, here's the Sports Wrap. Tainted Pakistani umpire Asad Rauf has been banned for 5 years by the BCCI after a disciplinary committee found him guilty of corrupt practices and bringing the game into disrepute. Rauf, who was part of the ICC's elite panel and officiated in test matches, was accused of accepting expensive gifts from bookies besides placing bets on IPL matches in its 2013 edition. South Africa beat England by 1 wicket in the 4th ODI at Johannesburg to level the ODI series 2-2. Joe Root's 8th one-day century helped England reach 262. However, the Proteas batsman Chris Morris hit a superb 62 from 38 balls as South Africa reached the target with 16 balls to spare. Former FIFA Secretary General Jerome Walke has been banned from all soccer-related activity for 12 years by the governing body's Ethics Committee on Friday. The Ethics Chamber says Walke was found guilty of misconduct related to the use of private jets for personal use, destroyed evidence and the sale of World Cup television rights. He had been suspended since last September. Top seed Rafael Nadal advanced to the semi-finals of the Argentina Open after a straight sets victory over Paolo Lorenzi. The world number 5 won a tight first set and then powered through the second to secure a 7-6, 6-2 victory. The Spaniard is playing in his first tournament since he suffered a shock first-round loss to compatriot Fernando Verdasco at the Australian Open. That's it from us in this bulletin. Thanks for your time.